afternoon, I'm Nana Okwir. This is GB News. Now, let's talk about police who face accusations of ignoring the spread of Sharia courts in Britain, as new figures reveal fewer than 3% of honour-based abuse cases, including forced marriage and genital mutilation, female FGM, resulted in prosecution last year. Let's speak to the Director of Domestic Policy, Jacob Williams. Jacob, talk to me about this. What's going on?
Well, I think there's a number of things going on. One thing that I think is very important to bear in mind is that the shocking and shameful lack of prosecutions with things like FGM and other so-called honor-based crimes is not really a function of Sharia councils, because the reason we know the lack of prosecutions and the lack of convictions is so prominent is because we're measuring this against reports. Now, in cases where a crime's already been reported to the police, I don't think it's the case the police are saying, oh, the Sharia council's going to deal with it, so we don't need to prosecute. I think that's quite unlikely, no matter how bad the police are, that they're making such a silly decision. But we've said before that these Sharia councils need to be regulated properly. We don't believe the solution is to ban them. The solution is just to require them to report any crime they're aware of, and also to inform anyone who uses these councils, which we say councils, not courts, because they're not courts, and they shouldn't be allowed to call themselves courts, to inform anyone who uses them that they are not courts, and to inform them of what the relevant British law is, so it's a genuinely voluntary tribunal.
So are we saying that these things are actually definitely happening in this country and they're on the rise?
Which things, like FGM, honour-based violence?
Well, actual Sharia courts, you said we can't call them courts, but is that happening in this country?
There are at least 83. They're perfectly legal institutions. It's a long-standing principle of common law reaffirmed in the 1996 Arbitration Act that, yes, any British citizen can go to voluntary arbitration, including through a Sharia council, a Jewish Beth Din, or a Catholic diocesan tribunal. The issue is that they're not functioning the way they should in some cases. There are abuses, there are problems, and we need proper regulation. But these councils are not the reason that things like FGM or honour-based violence happen.
So are they perfectly legitimate and legal in this country to have Sharia councils?
Well, yes, they're legal, and we believe that they should be legal, and they should be legitimate, but they should be regulated so that they don't function as courts or claim to function as courts. So that has to be clarified. Yeah,
thank you for making that distinction, because I didn't realise that, so I appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of the viewers and listeners will appreciate that as well. Jacob Williams, thank you very much.
Thank you.
He is the Director of Domestic Policy at Pickthall House.